Hello everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Dustaria. Today we are continuing off of the post-establishment era. This is between 0 to 100 million years. For those of you who were not here for the last episode, which you should totally check out. And yeah, let's dive right in. So, in this episode, the first few creatures, two creatures that we're going to be having a little look at, they live within the Eagle Isle, and that is the large continent that you can see right here, right in the middle of the planet. Today we're going to get a bit of a deeper look into the desert and the sort of swampy grasslands of this environment and just have a little look. So, when you first enter the swamps, you may notice a few things within this environment, especially a few different fish. Now, obviously there's the salmon, but it's also been overrun by a new species known as the salog. And the salog is roughly, I'd say, 2 times larger than the average salmon. And the funny thing about these guys is there are no streams in this area. So they don't swim up streams to mate. So what do they do? Well, when the eventual mating season arrives for the salog, instead of trying to swim upstream and lose hundreds of thousands of their species, a male will go out of their way to find a usual salmon, just their predecessor. And once he has found a normal salmon, he will swim as fast as he can, hoping to catch it. And once he has finally caught this salmon, he will eventually swim over to a possible mate. And he will start swimming around, and to prove how tough they are, they show the females the largest salmon. Whoever has caught the largest salmon gets the girl first. So if 2 males were to swim up to a female, and show 2 different sized salmons, the one that's caught the biggest salmon will then get mating rights with the female. Another funny thing that this might be doing, unknowingly, is also causing smaller salmon to evolve, but we won't get to see that yet. Now, the second species that you might find across here is another evolution from the eagle. This is one of the very few species that didn't actually evolve directly off of the clawed runner. Instead, it evolved off of just the plain old bald eagle. These guys, in fact, can still fly, and they are known as the tockle-tackle. And the tockle-tackle still love to run around, but the easiest way to describe it is similar to that of a plover. Now, when you look at them, you can tell that the eyes have now become a deeper red. Their beaks sort of pushed back, and they have obviously changed colours drastically to more purples and greys and blacks. But they have 2 little yellow spikes on the shoulders of their wings, sort of like plovers. And they're used for a similar purpose, to attack anything that tries to harm their young or themselves. And Yeah, it's just defense. But another thing they sort of use it for is if they are trying to catch a salog, as these tokel are actually the primary predator of the salog. Now, when looking at these guys, you might wonder, how does this animal could even possibly catch it? Now, to tell you the truth, it's not fully known yet. But it's theorized by earthling scientists, and when I say earthling scientist, I don't actually mean humans, which again, you might get to learn about the earthlings in a future episode. I don't know when, as we are still in the process of designing them. In fact, we haven't actually got a true design yet. But I can tell you this much. They themselves aren't humans in the sense that they aren't Homo sapiens. So that's something else to look forward to. But what they theorize is that the tokel will fly up. Yes, fly, because these are one of the few species that have retained flight. And they will then swoop down with their wings starting to get tucked into their body and aim the spikes directly for the head or gut of the salog. And this usually impales the creature enough to at least cause it to pass out, which is useful as then they can pull it out with their beak and drag it out for a feast. Normally they are not alone though. Usually they are actually in pairs of between 2, 3, maybe 5, so that they can all drag it together and have a better chance of getting the full fish before another salog comes along and snatches the other parts. And in the background, you can tell that lily pads have started to flower, a bright blue coloration. Now, it is unknown to why all of them have specifically adapted the blue colour, but it's nice. And now we will be travelling to the deserts of Dustaria, specifically in the Eagle Isle, once again. One of the few creatures that you may find in the early post-establishment era is the Calambadu, and it has evolved from the clawed runner. In fact, its wings have changed position. They're now more forward-facing, and they can no longer fly at all, completely flightless, with little green spots to impress females. If you were to look at a female, they would not have these green spots. Now, you might eventually see what it eventually evolves into. But for now, all you can see is that they have claws, like the clawed runner, but they don't really run anymore. Their body's too weirdly misshapen for that. They actually prefer to lumber across the ground on their 2 legs, and occasionally, if it gets too hard for them, they will start to walk sort of on all 4s. And eventually this might change their body plan entirely. Now, their diet consists of only plants. That is the only food they ever eat. So, since they live in the deserts, they only eat cacti. Their whole diet consists of cacti, and it also gives them their primary source of water. So, most predators seem to stick around large, quote-unquote, forests of cacti, as they have learnt that this is where the Kalumbadu, seem to prosper. Now, currently it is unknown why or how they evolved, but we will eventually find this out on a short diving deeper into the species. Eventually, we will start diving deeper into the species in these episodes, but not with these early on evolutions, as they aren't as important. Now, the last species I'd like to show you is the apex predator of the deserts. In fact, it even hunts its ancestor, the clawed runner. This is known as the dune runner. Its feathers have slightly moved around. It's gained a bit of a tail. It is a lot faster now, coming in closer to the speed of what you'd expect from, I don't know, but I'd say it's pretty close to what you'd expect of a roadrunner, is the easiest way to say it. Their claws have grown larger, and there is a new species of cacti known as the tracti. And tracti have sort of evolved a wooden stem of sorts that grows out of the ground, and then the fleshy cacti part grows above. Though these things only grow to about 1 foot to 2 feet tall. So it's quite unknown on just how tall they can get, but it's theorized that that's about its maximum. And we will be leaving it off here with the tale of the unknown creature. Until next time, folks, bye-bye.